Baby, Drew's pet wig done stole Christmas and ruined it all for the llamas, the children, the carolers, and everyone in between. I got my notes. I hope y'all got yours. Let's get on into it. Okay, so starting off, Drew's son has a meeting with his dad. The father was over an hour late. I don't know, maybe it's just something about Atlanta or just, I don't know, people in general these days that people will literally sit at restaurants and wait for people for an hour. I am not set up like that, okay? I will give you a 15-minute grace period, and unless you have a very good response for me via text or a call or something, I'm leaving. I don't understand this whole, we sitting there, we ordering food, we talking and, chopping it up, and you are over an hour late for a meeting with your son. I thought that was absolutely ridiculous. But listen, the whole gag of the situation is how unbothered Josiah was, right? Like, I literally was like, he is my spirit animal. And I sort of tried to think about it as, why is he so unbothered? Is it a case of whether he's, suppressing his inner feelings for his father and showing that, he doesn't care as a defense mechanism? Or is it that he really doesn't care? And honestly, y'all, I am inclined to believe that he really doesn't care. I think that he's 9. I don't think he has a very, very solid conception of, what's really going on or like the larger implications of this. But it's also the fact that this man went to jail when he was very, very young and he honestly doesn't know him. So, listen, when Josiah reached across that table to give him a hug across the table with his hand, baby, I fell out. I'm just glad that Ralph and Drew were there to sort of direct the conversation, because it could have gotten pretty awkward otherwise. And to Ralph's earlier point, I think that it's great that they're fostering this relationship with the father, because Ralph never wants Josiah to ever have the day where he's like, y'all kept me from my father, y'all didn't let me foster a relationship with him. Listen, if you choose to not have a relationship with this man, that's on you, but we're going to keep bringing you around him and creating these opportunities for you to know him and interact with him. The tentative future schedule just seems a little bit iffy. I mean, if this man can't even do weekly calls, I don't know how that's going to work. But listen, if Drew gets a second season, we'll see how it unfolds. So Kenya and Mark and their manipulation games. I just feel like a broken record with this. Like, I'm not always the person who's like, well, listen, let me be completely honest. I am the person that's going to be like, leave your man, stand up for yourself, honor your self-respect for yourself, But I think if there is any person who has given this all that they have, it's Kenya in this situation. To me, the biggest slap in the face is when he blocked her number. That is the mother of your child. He blocked her number, but he left Brooklyn's number open, right? And listen, I've never been blocked by somebody, or maybe if I have, maybe I didn't care about the person enough to check, but I didn't realize that once you try to call someone who has blocked you, it instantly goes to voicemail and the messages don't say delivered. I didn't know that, so I learned something new at the same time as well. But from the beginning, it just seemed like Mark was just about his manipulation games. If you do this, I'll do this. And we saw that in the episode where she was like, we'll work on the relationship if you do X, Y, Z. Like, it's always conditional and it's always on Mark's terms. And that's not how a relationship is built. So, we find out later in the episode that Kenya finally did file for divorce. Good for her. I hope she sticks with it. And I hope it's not this, back and forth, him and Han, or will they, won't they, just like this season was. So, at the end of the day, you have to protect your energy. You have to protect your energy. You have to protect your peace. And you have to do what's best for you and your child in that situation. And Listen, although a nuclear family would be wonderful for Brooklyn to have, listen, I think it's better for both parents to be happy. And it's obvious through the screen that Kenya and Mark, they're like a roller coaster. You have to get off the roller coaster, get off the merry-go-round, and I think both of you will be happier in the long run. Moving forward, Cynthia has a friends miss where she went all out. She had llamas, she had carolers, she had really good food, okay? Listen, she taught Fallon a lesson, okay, about these little finger foods that you have down to the events. No, okay, we want a full buffet of food, okay? Paige Golden Corral, Paige Old Country Buffet, Paige the Chinese buffet down the street, Paige them all, okay? Because Cynthia had all the food down to the damn buffet and I was here for it. Portia and Drew were late. I think the definition of insanity is doing the same things and expecting different results, right? If you all know that Portia is consistently late all the time, then I feel like the fault is on you for expecting her to be there on time, to be completely honest. Listen, the way I'm set up is that I would start scheduling everything an hour ahead. Not that my event's going to start an hour ahead, but I will be telling people that the event starts an hour ahead. That way, there is a larger chance that they would be close to on time or just slightly late, but that's just me. So in the future, y'all need to do better with this and this whole, it's so rude that they're late and stuff. This is what they do. This is what they do. And Portia and Drew were together in this. I mean, Drew had like a semi-good excuse because she had cramps and stuff, but listen, Portia don't need an excuse to be late, and y'all need to do better going forward. Just being late in general, like I need to do better at it. I always give myself a 5 to 10 minute grace period, but like I have never showed up on somebody an hour late. I think that is just rude and disrespectful at that point, but let's not hem and haw on it. Let's move forward. The girls had a white elephant Christmas gift exchange, and it was $1,000. Originally, it started off as $100, but then they were like, we want good gifts. We want good gifts. And so they just decided to make it $1,000. So listen, I hope that one day me and my friends can do $1,000 gift exchange. $1,000 is a lot of money, and you really have to care about somebody to spend $1,000. Now, in terms of who gave the best gift, right? We already know, and we'll cover it later, that Drew's gift was the absolute worst because it was not even a gift. But like, if I start on it now, honey, I will never get to the end of the video. In terms of who gave the best gift, honestly, I think it depends on who you are as a person. Me personally, my favorite gift has always been and will always be money. I feel like, people are always like, well, it's not putting that much thought into it if you just give somebody cash and this, that, and third. I'm like, no, you are putting thought into it, because instead of giving me something, I'm going to have to Tootsie Roll down to the store and return for the, store credit or, the cash value in order to get me something I actually wanted. Just give me cash, okay, in the first place, and then I can pick out my own gift. I used to do this whole thing where I was like, I'll make a list and y'all get me something off the list. But in that way, you might as well just give me the cash. I feel like the joy in it for me is buying myself something that I really, really wanted. And then the net effect for you is being the facilitator of getting me something that I wanted in the first place versus something that I didn't. But I understand sometimes that surprise gifts can be just as good as gifts that you wanted for yourself. So, in my opinion, even though Marlo wasn't there, she gave the best gift, the gift of cash. I would have loved to open up a gift wrap package full of $1,000. I can do a whole bunch with $1,000. So let's get into the meat of this episode, y'all. Drew's gift, the wig and the tape, was unnecessary. The problem that I have with the wig and the tape is that it was positioned as a gag gift, according to Drew, right? But the essence of a gag gift is that it's supposed to be a joke gift that comes before the real gift, right? And so if you're going to get the gag gift, which was the wig and the profit lot tape, right? Then following that, you should have had a second package that was either, your Cash App information to give them $1,000 or an actual $1,000 gift. The excuse of the whole, those bundles were $1,000 and stuff like that, and I gave $100 gift certificate to the not gift certificate, but donation to the Humane Society. Listen, let's spend a couple moments on Drew's pet wig, okay? First off, if that is the same wig that was atop your head in the beginning of the season, Drew, once you have your head juices and scalp oils and stuff in a wig, there is no resale value in it, okay? So those $1,000, $2,000 bundles, they're pretty much worthless at this point, or they're very much decreased in value. And don't nobody want an old ass wig. Now, if Drew took a new wig, right, in the same style of the old wig, then that's a horrible gift too, because listen, the season started because of you and your bad wig, Drew, okay? You and Drewisha, or the pet wig, or whatever the hell they called it and stuff. Nobody wanted that wig. Everybody was clowning on that wig. So to give the wig as a present and say that it's, it's worth $1,000 and those are $1,000 bundles, that was a cop-out. And listen, Portia told you right, where she was like, okay, girl, yeah, this is a gag gift, but like, you gonna give the actual $1,000 gift, and you're like, no, those are $1,000 bundles. Lies. Ha ha, he, hell. Okay, if I'm spending my money to give a $1,000 gift to people, I expect to get a $1,000 gift in return. So that was completely wrong. Now, on the topic of the appropriateness of the gift in the grand scheme of things, listen. In this group, when they get together for these events, there's always going to be a stunt pulled, right? And so I feel like Drew is too new to the situation, or maybe just not skilled enough to know what the difference is between a good stunt and a bad stunt. Let's talk about it, children. A good stunt is Kenya Moore hair care. Boom, 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 boom. Kenya Moore hair care. Okay, the joke of the wig and the Profit Lot tape was that you became the joke at the end of it, okay? It literally made no sense, okay? And so when Portia was like, I hope when you play this tape that it's going to be worth it. Girl, once the damn tape got played and it was this dry ass non-admission of Profit Lot saying, yes, I do like LaToya, and yes, I understand her situation. Girl, there is no smoking gun, okay? Get Matlock off the line. Tell Olivia Pope to stay home. There is no case here. Like, you literally uncovered nothing. And if you are so Christian and filled with the Holy Spirit and, holier than thou, listen, recording somebody speaks to your character. Now, whether or not you recorded them yourself, which I think you said there was some sort of intermediary, and if y'all listen to my prior video where I talked about the messy assistant, in my opinion, the messy assistant must have recorded it and sent it over to Drew. But I do feel that based on Drew's vigor in this situation, in terms of how, venomous she is towards LaToya, I do feel like she had a hand in it, because there's no way that this tape just fell into your lap and you had nothing to do with it in the beginning and you felt the need to give it to people. So like I said, there's no smoking gun. The tape uncovered nothing. It was a pointless stunt, and it really took an otherwise very nice event down a dark road that it didn't need to go down. So shame on you, Drew, for number one, bringing up this mess once again, because no one is believing this whole Profit Lot situation, that you're the only one that keeps perpetuating it, number one, and then you didn't give the girls a good gift in the grand scheme of things. Drew unhinged and grasping at straws. That was the story of this episode. LaToya then enters the party. I walked away from this episode feeling very sad for Drew, honestly. If you let someone take up that much space in your head rent-free, and there is no obvious base for why you have so much venom for them, I feel like it's more a reflection of you having problems in your own life that are unresolved that you need to deal with. So I don't know if this is like some sort of delayed reaction to the issues with the baby daddy and Josiah, or, finding out where Ralph and his other family were in Tampa, but, you need to figure out what the hell that this meant, okay? Now, LaToya enters, right, brings a gift, and is basically inundated with this whole, attack from Drew, right? And so don't get me wrong, okay? Drew is not completely innocent in the situation, although she did start it, right? But LaToya only has two speeds. LaToya is either on or she's either off or she's rah, 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 okay? And when she walked through the door, she was off, but she quickly got to rah, rah, rah. Now, y'all may be thinking that, LaToya did throw the wig at Drew. I call BS, right? Because number one, Drew and LaToya they couldn't have been more than 5 to 7 feet away from each other at the time, right? If LaToya really wanted to hit Drew with that wig, she would have, okay? But as you saw in the clip, she threw the wig over her head, but in her direction, right? So the net effect was the same, but she did not hit her with the wig. If you even see it, Drew raises her hand up to sort of grab the wig, and you can see how far it was above her head if she still couldn't grab it when it floated on over, right? So LaToya didn't do any favors in this situation, and she did, egg on Drew. But listen, rightfully so. If I'm gonna walk in the door and you're gonna come with some old ass mess with no smoking gun, no facts, and you just trying to perpetuate this narrative on me that doesn't make sense and that nobody is featuring, listen, I'm gonna give you exactly what you want. And the funny part of the whole situation is that Kenya has sort of moved into the Nene Leakes spot in terms of, y'all remember back in the day when Nene was on the show, and Nene would call Marlo a baby Nene, and she sort of took ownership for Marlo's behavior and tried to coach her and help her to do better on the show. And you honestly do see that dynamic with Kenya and LaToya, where Kenya was basically dragging LaToya out the party. Let's go, let's get in the car, let's not do this mess, let's continue on and just move on with our night. This is not productive, let's move on. So listen, history on these shows has a weird history of repeating itself. But I thought, Kenya saved the day just in terms of getting LaToya out of that situation with Drew. Listen, when you're going to fight me over nonsense that you created, you have to remove yourself from that situation. And, tearing up Cynthia's good home and all this stuff that she did to, make this a nice holiday thing. If y'all watch the after show, make sure you watch those because you get some really good insights. And apparently there was no shade involved with this entire holiday party. It was supposed to be just a very nice event to cap off, or not to cap off, but to end the season, because it had been really tough filming this show with COVID and, all the intricacies that created. So listen, I am fine with a stunt when it is done right, but I feel like when a stunt falls flat and it just seems like you're grasping at straws and, it just seems sad. People feel bad for you in that situation, then nobody wins in that situation. And Drew, you just looked a complete fool. Moving on to the reunion, which will be next week. I'm very excited. Honestly, I feel like this season, it sort of just went in circles in terms of, Drew's wig and the conversations there in Bolo and the stripper narrative and the conversations there and then the whole profit lot situation. So I don't really feel like there's a whole bunch to resolve at this reunion. There are those, three main topics, but I'll be excited to see, how it goes. And this will be my first reunion that I'm actually going to be doing a video for. So I'm very excited for that. So, y'all drop down in the comments and let me know if you agree with my opinion or whether or not you think something different. And, I respond to all the comments that you guys give me. But anywho, guys, if you liked what I said, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on YouTube, Instagram, and Stereo at DatDamnDasher. And until next time, y'all, make sure that you have all your facts and figures straight before you come for somebody and know when to hold them and when to fold them. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.